you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral Rogers, I don't envy you with the job that you have, the complexity, and then the additional challenges that we have, as the chairman has said, about sequestration, things that are on the horizon that you have to worry about. That, you know, and listening to the discussion, I think one thing that's very important is we're never going to have the perfect weapon. This is not, you know, absent the United States coming up with a game-changing offensive or defensive capability of the scale of the Manhattan Project. You can't possibly get inside the decision cycles of the state actors, the organized crime, terrorists, and other people. And when you think about decision cycles in this realm, you think about every single day you get new malware, viruses, other technology added to your PC to deal with new threats that didn't exist a day or two or a week before. So I'm trying to get my head around how you really even segregate your scope of responsibility, which is largely, you know, the vulnerabilities of say, the DOD, or with however you would like to define your scope of ability, and how you differentiate that from the broader private sector threat. I mean, you've got 28 million small businesses. You have close to 19,000 businesses with 500 employers or more. You have distributed public sector infrastructure, whether it's electric, water, gas. And the concern that I have is what we have right now are the equivalent of guerrilla sniper fire or mortar attacks. We haven't seen, and I think that we will see someday, a nation state or organized crime or terrorist organization literally be in a position to execute a multi-pillar attack that, if they're smart, and they are, what they will do is something to disrupt you and then disrupt your ability to react to it by attacking the private sector, which is also integral to your supply chain. So, you know, how are we looking at this on a global basis and understanding that as they continue to increase their abilities, they're going to figure out a way on a multi-pillar basis to go after communications infrastructure, a supply chain infrastructure, healthcare, electric, whatever public infrastructure may be vulnerable. How do we actually get these things to coalesce versus finding out we get a good job, we do a good job in DOD, we create the Maginot Line, and they just go around it and disrupt you from a different direction?
So you have very succinctly articulated much of the problem set and the challenges of how you operate in this environment, because these arbitrary boundaries that we traditionally consider, well, this is a DOD function, this is a private function, this is an inherently government. Cyber just blurs these lines. So even as I focus on the DOD mission, it's one reason why I've argued we have got to think so much more broadly about this problem set. Now, within the DOD arena, it's one of the reasons why, for example, if you look at our exercise and training regime that we've put in place, we try to do that not just within the DOD, but across a breadth of the private sector. CyberGuard is our annual exercise. It'll be in June of this year. We pick a different segment, if you will, every year. We're going to do the power segment in this year's exercise. I think it's something like 20 different corporations will be exercising with us, the Guard, state, local.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. It's almost as if your military exercises have to involve all of these players so that they have a better understanding of their vulnerabilities and the nature of the attack that would occur. And cyber. And the other question that I had is, to what extent are we looking at state and local governments as a way to, at least in North Carolina, I served in the legislature, and we were talking about what we could do to work on cyber threats. And I saw it also as an economic advantage. If states became particularly good at grid hardening or at securing the physical presences and cyber threats within their state borders, they actually create an economic advantage for people to set up business in those states. So to what extent are we trying to lead and help make this problem a little less difficult at the federal level by making sure that the states and local governments are stepping up their game as a part of the effort?
So it's one of the reasons why there's a big Guard component to this effort, to ensure we can also try to address the state and local aspects of this.
Thank you. I have a million different questions. Sure. I think what I'll probably do is see if I can schedule some time in the office to go over a number of other ones. We may have to do some in a secured setting. Thank you very much.